Every beady cigarette is doing you damage. This is part of the main blood vessel to the heart. Smoking makes the walls of blood vessels sticky and collect dangerous deposits. This much was found in the blood vessel of a typical smoker, aged 32. Every beady cigarette is doing you damage.
Welcome back, still watching Hot Stocks. Let's talk about a mid-cap agri stock, Dhanuka Agritech. Pull up the 1 month chart of that, around 20% increase is what that particular stock has seen in the last 1 month. And MD of that company, Mr. M.K. Dhanuka, CEO, also the MD, joins us on the show now. Good morning, Mr. Dhanuka. Thanks a lot for joining us on the show. Tell us, how does the December quarter have been for the company? Do we see an outperformance due to good monsoons getting captured in this quarter?
Yeah. The third quarter has also gone very well. For the year ending, we have projected 25% growth, but growth will be much better than 25%, what we have projected for the year ending.
That's of course your first quarter numbers, but give us a sense of how you are looking at volume as well as price hikes at this point in time. What's the outlook there? What kind of volume growth can we see for the second half, and are you also looking at price revisions?
Out of 25% growth, the 20% growth will be from volumes and 5% will be from the price. So overall 25% plus growth will be there. If the growth is 30%, then it may be 24% from volume and 6% from price.
Right. Mr. Dhanuka, there are reports suggesting that Dhanuka as a company is looking to monetize some of its land around the Gurgaon region. Tell us, if yes, what kind of valuations are we talking about here for this land parcel?
It is too early to talk about that, because we are creating new facility at Keshwana in Rajasthan. Once it will be operation in a year's time, then gradually we will shift our Gurgaon operations to Keshwana. So it will take 2 to 3 years minimum time, and after 3 years we will think of monetizing this land. We have 6 acres of land at Gurgaon, so after shifting to Keshwana we will monetize it.
What are the new products that the company is looking to launch at this point in time? What kind of distribution do you see from new products on the top line as well as the bottom line?
We are going to launch 2 molecules first time in India in FY15, FY16 and FY17. So these molecules will definitely boost the top line and bottom line of the company. They will be exclusively remain with Dhanuka and in technical tie-up with the Japanese companies. One molecule we expect to launch in Kharif 2014 and one in Rabi 2014. It takes time to establish a new molecule, because neither a farmer nor dealer knows about the product. So the real sales will start from second year onwards. 1 year we will be doing grassroots level working in the fields to train the farmers and dealers, and later on the growth will come year after year.
Right. Mr. Dhanuka, leave us with some guidance or some color on what kind of margins are these efforts of yours going to reflect this year and next?
For first 6 months, the EBITDA margins were around 16% and the PAT was around 11%. We hope that it will remain in the same ratio for FY14 closing as well as FY15.
All right, many thanks for joining us and giving us that quick perspective. That's Dhanuka Agri. We were talking about how the stock has given good returns over the last 1 month, and Mr. Dhanuka there highlighting the business prospects going forward. Prakash, a quick check on the charts.
Which one?
Dhanuka Agritech.
Well, Dhanuka Agritech I think is looking okay. Reaction is over. Some kind of a base formation near the 81-85 mark or so. Give some time and space, can climb to levels closer to 204. Looks good.
All right, let's also talk about some of the big companies which are declaring numbers. Yatin will talk about Bajaj Auto, and Poonam will talk about Axis Bank. Poonam, let me come to you first. After looking at how some of the private sector peers, Indocin, Yes and DCB have declared numbers, what would you watch out for from Axis, though it's much larger peer, but from the same space?
Well, in terms of the larger banks, Ajay, definitely IndusInd Bank as well as Yes Bank, they reported a sequential uptick in the gross NPA numbers, and Axis as well is likely to be no exception, because Axis has a huge amount of book exposure to the infra segment, and even in this quarter, most of the analysts do believe that we would see a sequential rise in these slippages as well as the restructured assets. Do know that in the last quarter, the stressed assets addition were to the tune of 1,600 crore. By stressed asset addition, it means the fresh slippages as well as the fresh addition to the restructured assets. So any number above that, or if at all, even if the management, hikes its guidance in terms of the stressed asset addition, that would be taken very much negatively in terms of the stock price. Overall, in terms of the result, a muted profit growth of just around 10% is expected, with a PAT number of 1485 crore. But a good growth in the net interest income as well as operating income is expected. Margins are likely to moderate nearly 5 to 10 bips quarter on quarter, owing to the pressure of the high cost of funds as well as priority sector lending. But it would be supported by the recent hikes in the base rate. Also, the bank has got good support from the FCNR flow, so that is going to give some support to the margins. Beside that, fee income would be muted, as well as overall the loan growth is likely to be in the range of 17 to 18%. But it is the high, look at the operating profit, a growth of 18%, but it is because of the high provisions that we are going to see a huge pressure on the stock, on the profits. Also, do know that in the last quarter, the bank had taken the entire MTM hit. So any write back in terms of the treasury book would give some upside to the profits, as it would add back directly to the provisions. Do keep a watch out for the management guidance in terms of asset quality as well as in terms of the margin trends. Overall, a decent quarter for Axis Bank.
Many thanks for that, Poonam. Yatin, all eyes will be on Bajaj Auto earnings as well. You're looking at margin expansion, but what is the expectation on volumes?
Well, clearly, Tanveer, Bajaj Auto, the operating performance would be mattering much rather than the top line and the bottom line. But if you look at Bajaj Auto, again, it will be something muted as far as the top line would be concerned, because we have seen during the Q3, the overall volumes for Bajaj Auto fell by nearly 12%, and that will surely weigh on the revenues. But possibly what would help Bajaj Auto this time around would be the export realizations, given that the rupee is weak and the dollar realizations would be improving for Bajaj Auto. We are looking at an EBITDA figure of close to 1135 crores, a growth of nearly 12% on a year-on-year basis. Of course, if you talk about the margins, we are looking at a margin number of close to 21.6%, improvement of nearly 3% on a year-on-year basis. And profits, because of the margin expansion, the profit also will be looking higher at around 865 crores as per our ETNOW poll, which would be higher by around 6% on a year-on-year basis. So expect a stable quarter for Bajaj Auto. The performance on the operating front would be something that you need to watch out for. In terms of the management commentary, the current trends in the market share, as well as the kind of hedges that they have taken on the US dollar and the kind of exposure that they have on the hedges, is something that the market participants would be watching out for.
All right, Poonam, Yatin, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. Let's talk about Axis Bank. Just ahead of the numbers, there seem to be brisk trade happening over there for the second day running. The price volume actions suggest more long trade happening over there. Price and volume breakouts seem to be happening. Pull up 1% gain coming in, 1190 is what the stock is nudging right now, or 1% gains. Pull up the chart where we can also gauge the volumes on that counter. It's institutionally quite a widely held stock, so over 1% kinds of gains coming in over there. About 1 lakh shares have already been traded as far as Axis Bank is concerned right now.
Okay, let's get an idea from Ashwini, 10:55. So let's get a quick perspective on what Ashwini would recommend at this hour. Ashwini, if you could give us a chart check on Axis Bank and also your option strategies right now.
See, the good news on Axis Bank is that it has already beaten up. So post the results, 95% chances are that it will move up, because some positive or the other will be there. So Axis Bank should be bought right now with a stop close by, which is around 1160, and maybe you could even get targets of 1250, 1270 on the upside. So the positives in both Axis Bank and Bajaj Auto are that both are beaten up, and there is very little room for downside, even if the news is not so good. In terms of option strategies, Nifty, you can sell the 6300 put for about 32, use a stop of about 6290. Tata Steel, which after many days of decline is now showing some strength. You can sell the 380 put for about 7 points, use a stop of 378. Axis Bank, you can sell the 1150 put for about 16 points, use a stop of about 1150. And Bharti Airtel, you can sell the 320 call for about 7 points and use a stop of about 320.
Thanks for that, Ashwini. Sandeep, how are you gauging the market right now? What would your top stock recommendations be at this point?
Well, Ajay, the market is sideways, but I would call it sideways with a bullish bias. 50-point range is where I see the Nifty trading in. So I'm not very clear. One has to be stock specific. I think you can choose the right stock and make money, but play on the smaller moves. I would have a buy in a Hero MotoCorp. Buy it only if 2095 is broken on the upside with a stop loss of 2080, target of 2130. A buy in Steel Authority of India, stop loss of 66, target of 71. And a sell in Bharti Airtel, stop loss of 325, target of 303.
Prakash, come to you. What is it that you'd recommend at this hour?
I have 3 buys, Tanvi, starting with Adani Enterprises. That is looking good to me. I think the upside is still on. We can see targets closer to around 262. I have a tight stop below the level of 249, 248 zones. Looks good. The second stock that I like is Kestrel. Here again the up move is there. Yesterday's move was encouraging. And looks like we can see in a day or two targets closer to 311. A tight stop below the levels of 300 would be fine. I think we must give that space. Third is L&T. That is again looking good to me. Yesterday's break was a breakout. Today is sustained above it. Still trading higher. L&T can climb to levels closer to 1040. Stop below 1000.
All right, Prakash, Sandeep, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. Well, with that, it's a wrap of this edition of Hot Stocks from Tanveer and myself. Thanks very much for watching.
We are investing heavily in what we call a next generation delivery platform, so that people connect to their friends. When they encounter a problem, they have friends helping them out. So the whole notion internally of social media is very important for organizations to be successful.
Catch Krishna Kumar Natarajan discuss the importance of social media on Tea Time only on ETNOW.
Presented by Hitachi. Inspire the next.
बेटा दो चाय देना। क्या शक्कर बंद किया ना तूने? आज से चाय भी बंद।
अबे शक्कर, मुझे शक्कर से परहेज है, चाय से नहीं। चलेगा अदरक वाली चाय बोल।
दे दो।
देगा? आप भी मानते हैं कि चाय का मजा लेने के कई सारे ऑप्शंस हैं, जैसे अदरक, इलायची। अगर मैं आपसे कहूं कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स में भी इक्विटी के अलावा डेट फंड्स जैसे कई सारे ऑप्शंस हैं, तो आप मानोगे? अरे जानोगे तभी तो मानोगे। तो लॉग ऑन कीजिए janotomano.com पर फ्रॉम बिरला सन लाइफ म्यूचुअल फंड।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
IMTEX Forming International Exhibition on Forming Manufacturing Technologies. Over 400 exhibitors from 25 countries. IMTEX showcasing the latest innovations and technologies. IMTEX Forming and Tooltech. Open to all business visitors this January at BIEC Bangalore.
चलो बेटा, रास्ते में ATM पे रोक लेना। रुक यहाँ? मैं 2 मिनट में आया। ये ATM कहाँ गया? भाई साहब यहाँ पे एक ATM हुआ करता था।
भाई साहब ATM यहाँ से 5 किलोमीटर दूर है।
5 किलोमीटर? पता नहीं क्या चक्कर है। चल बेटा, तेरी माँ को फोन लगाता हूँ। पता तो लगाऊं तेरी मौसी की फ्लाइट कितने बजे की? जी। अरे पेजर, मोबाइल कहाँ गया?
मोबाइल?
फ्लाईओवर ले ले, जल्दी कर। इतना ट्रैफिक, ये फ्लाईओवर कहाँ गया?
कौन सा फ्लाईओवर पापा?
चल मेट्रो लेते। अरे ये मेट्रो कहाँ गई?
मेट्रो?
चलो। अरे भाई साहब, यहाँ पे एक एयरपोर्ट होता था, एयरपोर्ट।
बावड़ा हो गया क्या था वो?